Hi, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Her Story. Today, I am super excited to bring another of our group members, Miss Garri Davis, to our platform to share about her story of success, and she will define what success really means to her. Garri, thank you so much for being here. It's a privilege to connect with you and to get your story and to share it with others so that they may be inspired on the journey.
Thank you, DeQuesta. I appreciate the invitation, and I'm so excited to share with you and everybody else about my experience of entrepreneurship.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it then. Tell us about Garri. Who is Garri?
I am a person who enjoys her family, enjoys vacationing, enjoys meeting new people, and I also enjoy entrepreneurship, even though it brings challenges, the success that it brings, and working with the children that we serve every day.
Awesome. So Garri, tell us what you do. What do you do?
So I own 2 childcare centers in Cincinnati, Ohio. We serve pre-COVID over 150 students a day and their families. We provide them with a quality environment to learn with great teachers, quality materials. And that's how I spend the majority of my time. I also work as a coach, a speaker, and an author in my free time, helping other entrepreneurs bring their businesses to light and success.
Awesome. And I see that you just released your book. Congratulations. That must have been a proud
Well,
for you.
I postponed the release of my book, CEO and Stilettos, until the end of this month. It actually launches September the 28th.
Okay, awesome.
Just being an entrepreneur, the word pivot is not new to us. And with the changes in the childcare industry, I really had to focus 100% on my childcare businesses. So I just postponed the release of my book until the end of this month.
Awesome. So why childcare? What was it that took your entrepreneur journey to childcare? And did it start there?
No, I actually have a lot of experience in corporate Americas. I've worked in insurance companies. I've been a broker and sold mutual funds. I worked in real estate. I worked in public utilities. So I have a lot of other experiences in corporate America. One of the reasons that I turned to entrepreneurship is because I found myself working so hard to impress others so that they could see value in me. I worked really hard for their companies, helped them to make money. I had been looked over for promotions. I had been labeled as the angry Black woman, and really told that I had terrible skills, social skills and communication skills, although I worked very hard to make them money every day. And I had always had a passion for children and seeing their success. I am from an inner city neighborhood. You know, we come from little to nothing, and I wanted to share a place with other young children so that they can have a great start in life, so that they can, you know, grow in an environment of people that love and care for them, and then be set up for success once they reach regular school. So that was how I transitioned from corporate America to starting my own business.
Awesome. So how long have you been in business, Garri?
So I've had my childcare centers for a little over 8 years now. I've been very successful in the childcare industry. It's really hard to make a profit because the profit margins are very, very slim. So we've partnered with several different people. We've been able to scale our businesses very well. And as a result, I've been able to accomplish some things that some people never see, and that's a 7-figure income in childcare.
Wow, that is super amazing. So tell us about the journey to get there. Tell us about the journey to get from just starting with a dream to actually now being the owner of two centers?
Well, the journey was not pretty. The journey was not pretty at all. I actually opened my child care center, my first child care center, in 2012. I had one student for about 3 weeks, and then I was able to convince this other lady to leave her child there with me.
Wow.
So for the first about 4 to 5 weeks of being in business, I had two students. It was hard. I was scared. I didn't know how I would, survive in the industry. I also didn't know how I would keep my staff because I wasn't making enough income, and I was about to give up, but I didn't. I just started this crazy marketing frenzy. We were walking around passing out flyers, stopping anybody that may have been able to qualify for subsidized childcare, helping them with applications, doing whatever I needed to do to bring people in. And before I knew it, I had 8 children. Then I'm super excited. And it just so happened that because of the marketing activities, me putting myself out there and staying true and fast to what I naturally believed in, that we were providing quality care to these children and providing them with an environment that was safe for them to be in, we were able to eventually end up with 40 students there.
Wow.
And that was about the maximum that I had at that facility. And because of the roof leaking, we had to find another place to go. So when you talk about the peaks and valleys, I'm super excited. Now I have 40 children here, but now the roof is leaking and it's not safe. And so after that, we moved to a larger facility where we were able to have more children. Like I said, I continued with a lot of partnerships. I continued with my professional development and eventually grew to be able to serve children in a different area. So that's when we decided to expand. And I say we all the time because it's like I'm in partnership with my business. It's like we're married to each other. So it's really just me. I am the owner, but a lot of times I find myself saying we, but I'm really talking about myself.
I love it. And then I imagine, working with a team of people helps it to sit in we, because we need people to help us bring our journeys to where we want them to be. So I love the fact that you do say, because that gives recognition to the fact that there have been people who supported you and helped you to build your dream.
Yes.
So after
you're right about that.
After you successfully had one center filled with about 40 kids, what was the inspiration to open another?
Well, after we moved to a larger facility where we had a capacity of 187 children. In the facility, we're still there. We serve children that are under a certain income. So the name of my childcare center is Water Lily Learning Center. And if you know anything about water lilies, they grow in a swamp of really dirty, murky water. And you would never think that something that started out in this water would grow to be so beautiful, which is the premise of me being in the inner city in the first place. But being a businesswoman, because I have to always lead with that, I know that there's other ways to earn money in this business. And one way is through private pay tuition. Well, in the facility that I'm in, there's not going to be a lot of private pay tuition. So I decided to expand into an area that would allow me to tap into that. And so that was my inspiration for moving to the new location. And so one of our locations is a more prominent, mostly private pay parents. We still offer the same amenities and everything to them, but we still serve underprivileged children as well in the first facility.
I love it. And what I get from our conversation is that as an entrepreneur, we have to be fluid and flexible. We can't just be fixed. So what has your entrepreneur journey taught you? Someone that loves being self-employed or someone that loves being an entrepreneur and having a small business, what has the journey taught you?
It has taught me to, number one, believe in me. Because if I don't believe in myself, nobody else is going to believe in me. I have to always present myself as being knowledgeable, positive, and an influencer. When I walk into a room, I need to present myself as, even if I'm having a terrible day, I still have to stand up because I represent Water Lily. I represent the Garri Davis Agency, and this is the first thing that they see. And I always know that because of the journey that I've been on, that they, like I said, some days are going to be great, some days are going to be terrible. But at the end of the day, when they look at Water Lily, they see me. And so I always want to be representative of that. It's very important.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So looking at your life, Garri, and understanding your career path, your professional path, from corporate to entrepreneurship, if you had the opportunity to go back and talk to your 16-year-old self or your 20-year-old self, what would you encourage her to do?
I would encourage her to be an entrepreneur sooner. So when I had always had this entrepreneurship bug, but I was afraid. I was afraid to go out on my own. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my abilities. I was just afraid, as many females are afraid to step out into entrepreneurship. But the sooner you start, the better. The one thing that I would have done is started sooner and found a mentor. Somebody that can help me learn faster, eliminate some of the learning curve so that I can be bigger, faster, stronger, and richer sooner. So that is the one thing that I would have told my 20-year-old self. It's okay, you can do it. And I would have stepped out and just did it.
Awesome. Now, the thing is, I know that that's advice that you would give your 20-year-old self, but I am also aware that that's advice that you currently give to young women now in pursuit of their dreams. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you've helped a few women to set on the path of becoming millionaires by entrepreneurship. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I encounter a lot of younger females that are pretty much in college. I have a son that's in college and he has a lot of friends and they're very interested in being entrepreneurs. Even though they're in college now, they are looking to start their own business and I'm so excited for them. But just like I was, they don't have a lot of information or they don't have a lot of mentors or people that are willing to pour into them for free. They don't have any money, And so I take that as an opportunity to sit with them, to work with them, to answer questions. I'm available to them to stop by my house. They'll text me on the phone and help them with whatever they need. So for example, one of my little friends, she has started a lemonade business. Her grandmother had a lemonade recipe. She used that same recipe to start a business, but she could not pay to get a logo. So we sat down, we went on to Canva, and we created a logo for her, which she still uses to this day. And of course, along the way, she'll update it or change it. But just by doing that, she has one thing checked off of her list, which is very important, that she presents herself as a business owner. And of course, she needed a logo. She just didn't know how to do it. So it was my pleasure to help her. And the lemonade also is pretty awesome. So I get free lemonade.
Awesome. It's so great when we can give back and mentor others along the journey as well.
Yes.
As we start to bring our interview to a close, and this interview will mostly be used in our Power of Her Women's Empowerment group, to the women in the group considering entrepreneurship, what words would you use to encourage them on the journey, to stay on the journey?
So one thing that I learned is actually how we met, the question. I waited a really, really long time to focus on personal development. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where to find it or how to do it or how it would affect me. But personal development is the key. We focus on professional development all of the time, but personal development is what has filled me up, given me the courage to keep going even when I can't. It surrounded me with people that I can call if I need help, because now I have people that I can depend on. I just called on one of my friends the other day because I just needed somebody to pour into me because I was feeling down. And I can show my real self with my tribe because they're not my competitors. They're here to help me and assist me and lift me up. So having a tribe around you, focusing on your personal development is going to help you grow. It's going to help you look at your weaknesses You're going to find out how to fix those. It's going to make you a better entrepreneur, and it's going to provide you with a group of people that you can lean into that will hold a space for you when you need them to, so that you can be your very best self at all times. So that is what I would tell people. If this is your tribe, lean into the tribe. There are a lot of people in here that have a lot of different experiences. They have different specialties. They have a lot of information that you can use right here. You don't have to post on Facebook or look around. Everything is right here. If you focus on your personal development, your entrepreneurship, your business, and everything that follows that is going to grow, because you do have to always be your very best self. And when you have people around you that'll pour into you and lift you up, it makes it even easier for you to go out and present yourself, you know, and be your very best. And meeting you was so awesome when we had an opportunity to meet, and just coming back full circle here to just be in your presence again, and listening to you on Facebook. Just, even though you're not talking directly to me, I always feel like you're talking directly to me. Always. And you know, it's just nice to have and be surrounded with positive, like-minded people that don't want anything from you, but to just love on you and to help you be your greatest. So that's what I would say. Yes.
Awesome. And listen, I think back often to the women's retreat we attended together, and I remember I actually listened to the recordings of the words that were spoken into my life. What do you see when you see me? And you know, those words inspire me to this day. So I support that word, in that we have to stay on a journey of personal development and get connected minded individuals. Now, Garri, with everything that you've said today, it makes it seem as if the entrepreneur journey is easy peasy, but I am certain that you have faced many obstacles along the way. How have those obstacles helped you to become successful?
So this is my latest obstacle, okay? I hired a lady who is an older lady, and I let her stay at my company, even though I had heard she was not doing her very best. But I thought it was a great idea to have her there because she wasn't at home alone. She was surrounded by friends. She loved the children. And I, in my heart, thought that I was doing a great service to her. Well, she ended up doing something that she shouldn't have done that eventually caused harm to a child. So I had to fire her. As a result, about 2 weeks ago, I received in the mail some information from her attorney. She's suing me for $25,000.
Wow.
Yes. And my feelings were hurt because I cared enough about her to allow her to work there, even though it probably wasn't a good fit. You know, the one thing that I learned from this lesson is my business is very important, and I can never let my personal feelings get in the way of doing business.
Yeah.
So this is not the first time that I learned this lesson. I really feel that you continue to learn the same lesson over and over and over until you get it. And I got it now. It cost me time, it cost me money, but I get it. So it's not that it's an easy journey. There's just lessons involved in it. And the sooner you learn the lesson, the sooner you make changes because of the lesson you learn, the easier it is going to be going forward. So that's just the latest issue. It's something all the time. It's something every day. Sometimes I feel like a fire chief where's the fire? Where's the fire? Where's the fire? You know, and that's my whole day, just running around, putting out fires. But ultimately, these fires are little lessons to learn. If I had did something prior, the fire would not have started most of the time. So entrepreneurship is not easy at all. It's just not easy. But if you learn the lessons along the way that you need to learn and you correct those, it makes the other side a lot easier. And so now I know I can't feel sorry for old ladies that need jobs. You know, I really need to look at my organization to find out if you're a good fit, and if you're not, you got to go. You know,
Awesome.
I cannot allow my personal feelings of care and concern to get in the way of doing business, because every day as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, in everything you do related to your business, you're doing business. You're
Yes.
always doing business. It cannot be personal. And even when I let her go, that is when I started doing business. You know, everything before that with the lady was very, very personal, which is why it hurt my feelings, you know. But I've learned, and then as a result, like in these last 2 weeks, as a result of me, well, this didn't happen as a result since I let her go. This was a while, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. But as a result, in the last 2 weeks, I have really started to clean house. You know, things that I let be okay because of my feelings, I've learned quickly I cannot continue to do that. And now it's time for change. And so as a result, I've tightened up some of the loose ends that I had. I've let other people go, and I've given other people notice. If you can't get on this train with us and go with us, then you can't be here. So it's not that it's easy. It's not. But if you put yourself in the right path, and you learn from the mistakes that you've made, and you
Yeah.
make the right changes, you know, accordingly along the way, you're going to get better. It's a constant learning, changing, evolving, pivoting lesson that you're on, you know, when you're an entrepreneur. I wish it was easy, but entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
It's
It's
not for the
not.
faint at heart.
You have to be strong. You have
Yes.
to be strong minded. You know, your heart has to be strong. Your feelings can't get hurt. And then, like I said, you always have to present yourself that, you know, everything's okay. Even
Yeah.
though inside, you know, you're trying to figure out your next move, or trying to figure out how to fix something, or how to pay for something. You know, you might not have the money for it,
Yeah.
but it's just constant work. But, you know, the reward on the other end is, number one, I sign my own checks. I
Yes.
do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. I pay for it myself. I don't have to ask anybody. I do it when I want to do it. There's nothing that can replace that for me. And in addition to that, I am creating generational wealth for my grandchildren. I could not ever do that working for someone else, because it
Yes.
was not any space for that. I was only going to make this much money. Right now, my income is limitless. It's what I make it. It's what I put into it. It's the
Yes.
grind and the hustle. And that's what it's about. And that's the fun part, you know? So it can't be all fun, you know? It just can't be all
Listen,
fun.
you just encouraged me. You encouraged me, Gary. Thank you so much for that. So tell us a little bit about CEO in Stilettos as we bring our interview to a close. Tell us about your book. Tell us about how we can find you and how we can support you.
Awesome. So CEO in Stilettos. So the funny part about CEO in Stilettos is that this book had been in my belly for 5 years.
Woo.
I looked back through my journals and I saw it, the title, in my journals from 5 years ago. And it wasn't until I met Lisa Nichols that I said, oh, sure, then I could write a book too. But I didn't know what it was going to be about. Probably last year, when I met a lady that was closing her child care center because she didn't have enough children, but she was right in the middle of a neighborhood full of children. And I couldn't for the life of me understand why she was going out of business. And then I met another lady that was closing her business because, you know, the same reason, for lack of something. And I started to realize that female entrepreneurs face challenges that other people don't understand. You know, we face things that male entrepreneurs don't have to deal with. We have worries that they don't know about. And there are things that people don't tell us that if they told us that little bitty thing, we would be successful in whatever we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And so CEO in Stilettos basically covers some of those things. One thing is having a great culture in your organization. How do you create the culture that you want in your organization that drives your business? For example, My staff wears uniforms. Do they love the uniforms? I don't know, but you have to wear them. They wear them at McDonald's, you know, they wear uniforms at other companies, and it exudes professionalism.
Yeah.
I want people to see you as a professional, and this is one way to do it. How do you drive that in your organization? And then how do you keep things in order? Like, keeping your business in order is a little bit different than keeping your house in order. Like, you can sweep and clean your house and it's presentable, but if you sweep and clean your business, but you don't have any systems in place, you're going to fail. And so the book is also about how do you put what systems do you need, and how do you put them in place to make them work, you know? So it goes over a lot of things, and it even covers self-care, the one thing that we neglect all the time as women. I'm so busy worried about everybody else, I don't take time to just do me, you know? I'll say, oh, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to go shopping. Well, that's fun, but is that really what I, want to do? So it even covers that, and how important is that we take time. That's that professional development piece, is taking care of yourself. And so it covers a gamut of all of those things. And it really is kind of like the foundation of women in business. And the reason why I named it CEO and Stilettos is because stilettos are powerful. And actually, during my research, I realized that stilettos used to be used as a weapon. Ooh. And yes, to slaughter the competition. So I want women to be able to buy this book, put some of these practices in place, uplift their businesses, save some time, save some money, and be able to go out there and slaughter their competition and walk into any boardroom or break room and exude their confidence and power, immediately, because they have all of these other things up under them, supporting them. And so that's why I wrote the book. I really think it's important to empower women. If I adjust your crown, DeQuessa, it takes nothing away from me. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Both of us can shine in the same light. And even if there was a childcare center right across the street from me, I would do the same thing for that lady. I'm not in competition with people like that. I'm in competition with myself. And so that is what this book is about. Like I said, it launches September the 28th. You can get a link to it on my Facebook page, which is Garri Davis Agency, Garri Davis Agency. We're looking to add a website to it, but we checked it yesterday and it wasn't up and running, so I can't give you that. Okay. But you can definitely go to Garri Davis Agency on Facebook and get a link to the book. On the 28th, we will be doing free downloads. And then a little bit after that, we are also offering a companion guide to the book, so that you'll have a workbook to go along with the book to help you work through the processes and give you the forms and everything that you need to kind of set your business on a path of success.
Awesome. I'm excited already. Can't wait to get my copy. Garri, thank you so much for the information you shared today. Thank you for your bubbly personality. Thank you so much for just the wealth of knowledge that you brought to our time together. I am certain the women in our group will grab a lot from our interview. It's just so power-packed. I wish you all the best in the future, and I'll be sure to support your book launch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see you again. I think it's in February.
Yes. We'll see each other soon.
For everyone that had a chance to listen and tune in, make sure to promote yourself, believe in yourself, tap into your tribe, and be the very best female entrepreneur that you can be. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you, Garri.